The reason the record still stands is the next year they canceled that program. That's the reason it still stands. But thank you. Again, my name is David Steele. I'm a real estate appraiser here in Knoxville. I do commercial and residential. I've been in Knoxville since I was 2. Went off to school. They shipped me off to military school in '85 for 2 years, and I went off to college after that. Thank goodness, it's quite well. It's military school, so I wouldn't go to college. I moved back, graduated in '90. I got a job with my first job out of school was with Sun Trust, Sun Bank. In '90, was there for a couple of years, and moved back to Knoxville in late '92, and been in real estate ever since. I've been in real estate for 20 years. It kind of hit me when 2012, that was around number 20 years. I was talking to somebody the other day about our past football careers in college, and I was naming a couple of names, these guys that I knew that were from his neighborhood or from his town. And he goes, oh yeah, I'd heard of those guys. And I said, well, I played 85, 86, 87, 88. He goes, yeah, really? Yeah. I was born in 86. Wow. It really kind of hit me that maybe I'm becoming kind of one of that old guy. The old guy in the crowd. So, but no, I like that. I've been in real estate since I moved back. 20 years. I've been in the hotel business for 12 to 13, 14 years. I was out of it for about 4 or 5, and now I'm back in it for some of you guys. I've actually done a little business through that avenue with some of those guys here, which has been great. And but during the 20 years that I'm back in the hotel business, in the apartment business, still am in the apartment business. Some management and oversight in that capacity. Was heavily in that through the 90s and early 2000s. And in '94, I had been thinking about doing appraising for years. It was very hard to do because you got to get a sponsor and work with them, and nobody wants to sponsor anybody. It's a hassle. But fortunately, I was able to go in with a guy named Mike Smith, who is an appraiser here in town. Some of you guys may know. He's a MAI appraiser, which probably doesn't mean anything to anybody, but that's kind of the top echelon. That's the doctorate of commercial appraising, and arguably he's the best appraiser in town. So I was very fortunate to train under him, and we did all kinds of stuff. Fortunately, when I got into business, it was during the heyday, which was good and bad. Kind of throwing a lot of numbers around and doing a lot of great projects. There's a lot of great projects going on. I've done thinking this morning on the way, okay, what have I done? Trying to think of what I haven't done. We've done subdivision developments, marinas, proposed office buildings, medical buildings, a lot of dirt, a lot of houses. Done houses from condemned to where they kind of freak you out when you go in them. And so I've done the gamut from that. I was actually in one and walking on stuff about this high, and it was like, I got to get out of here. By the time I turned around, I ran into a vagrant.
Did you leave that car?
Oh my God.
I ran into a vagrant. If I had a gun, he'd be a dead guy, because I shot him with my finger a couple of times. It was a very weak moment. I would be an inch taller, but he's stunning my drugs. But so I've done that, and we actually have appraised there may be one bigger now, but I don't think so. The largest house here in Knoxville. A little less than 40,000 square feet, heated and cooled. So done both ends of the spectrum. Primarily, most stuff's in the middle of the spectrum, thank goodness. But now I have basically kind of honed in doing more residential. I do it on my own. Still do some commercial. When I do get into commercial projects of any magnitude, I do it still with Mike. We're still partners, but we do some other business together. We've got some commercial property and some residential stuff that we've done from a landlord rental standpoint. But most of my stuff is commercial. Most of my stuff is residential. It works better with what I do. Maybe a little ADD or something. But because the residential can kind of move and go and do the other responsibilities that I'm involved in. Commercially, you have a tendency to kind of get a project and you sit in a cubicle and you can really you have to stay focused on that, and it makes it difficult in the other things that I do, and other things that I'm trying to do as the market comes around. I'm one of those kind of a bobblehead. I get an idea and I just kind of roll with it. So I'm usually do more than one thing. Very rarely. I look at my business career. I've never done really just one thing. So it's kind of the nature of it. Maybe it's my detriment. A couple ideas, but like I said, I primarily do residential, and that works with what I do. But I love commercial. It's just the timeline and the time constraints that it puts on, and commercial part much more involved, and you need a lot more resources. But fortunately, I've worked with Mike. He's now back partnered with his old partner with the Property Services Group, and any of you guys that are in the real estate business, that name will ring a bell. They've been around a long time, and a lot of resources there. So I can do both. I like to do both. If I had my runners, I would just do commercial, but it doesn't work with what I do. But residential, I love doing residential. That's kind of where I got started. When I came back in the motel business and got into buying and flipping houses, back before it was on television and you can make thousands of dollars in 2 weeks. That never happened to me. It was more like 3 or 4 months. It wasn't thousands. It was a couple hundred to break even. But that's how I got into the appraisal, because I was buying and flipping houses. I was a real estate agent. And it was one that's totally active real estate agent, more personal stuff. But that's kind of the reason I got into it, because you could kind of churn. You could churn and do that and be doing other stuff. And so really my main interest is residential. And that's kind of where I'm drifting back to now. With the market coming back, got some ideas that I'm going to try to put in play in the next 6 months or something. But it's all residential oriented. I'm very involved in commercial projects, different capacities. So I still study commercial. I still understand it. I still follow it. What sells? What's being transferred? What's it renting for? How's it rented? Square footage, space, locations, and all that kind of stuff. So I try to stay as in tune to it as I can, be it I'm doing a project or just for personal knowledge. But the residential, again, is really where I'm honing my business and trying to do it on my own. I've got a great network, so I say I do it on my own, but there's one thing about the appraisal business versus other businesses that I've been in. We share information. Appraisers share. They love to just hand it out. If I've got some comps, I met with a couple guys yesterday. I'm doing a duplex up in Sevier County. They just poured information out to me. And that's the beauty of appraisal business and appraisers. We're kind of known as the non-social people of real estate. And now that they're only one in this rotation, we're really a non-real estate. I mean, non-social, because we can't even talk to them. But that's kind of where I'm going with that. As far as referrals go for me, I say week in, week out, kind of beat the same drum. Kind of hard to be very creative with it, but the biggest referrals for me is bankers, mortgage brokers would be great. That's in that magic rotation list. Talking with Chris, we swap notes back and forth, and it's this rotation thing that you have to be able to get onto, and that's kind of how the system works. The mortgage business is kind of the bread and butter of what we do. Fortunately, the rates have been low, so that kind of kept it rolling a little bit. But the market seems to be coming back. I've done a lot of sales here recently. That's great. A lot of FHA work, which is good. But that's the bread and butter. But another side spin of a referral would be getting to attorneys. I've mentioned it a couple of times, and I've gotten some good referrals and had some conversations. But that falls into estate planning, TPAs, and attorneys that get into estate planning. Most people, as they're doing estate planning, they have some type of real estate that's involved in it, and that has to be appraised. No matter if you're going to start transferring to estate planning and stuff, it has to be appraised. It means you guys have ever been involved in that kind of stuff with family. It does have to be appraised, and that's good work from my standpoint. Then also attorneys in divorce settlements, you get into that kind of stuff. That's a big need. Sometimes it's not a very comfortable situation. I'm going into some where I felt like one of the spouses was going to shoot me, like the other person hired me. But you have that kind of situation that is good. And I'm going to, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start talking about tax appraisals. It has to be done by the end of June. And so anybody talking about their tax appraisals, a lot of homes or commercial property was assessed in 08, and they're all based off of 05, 06, 07 numbers. Well, we all know in real estate what's going on during that period of time. It's all these inflated prices, and everything is kind of come down to reality. And some have dropped dramatically. And if you can create enough of a spread there, you can save a lot of money on taxes, and it's absolutely 100% legit because you pay taxes on your appraised value of your property, and if it's not there, it's not there. So, but I'll be talking about that more often. But if anybody ever has any questions, had a great question this morning, just general real estate appraisal questions, please fire it. I mean, I love questions like that. It kind of makes me think and stuff. So if you ever have any questions, just call me. I love to swap notes, and there's such a broad brush of questions and anything you can ask. So just ask it, because if I don't know, I'll find out. I'd love to ask something that I don't know, and then I get to find out. So, do you have any questions?
Hey, Dave, local municipalities, will they do a combination of hiring out appraisals, or do it all from an in-house staff? Or do you know?
My experience on
property assessment in Wayne County.
Maybe, and that's a good question. I don't know, but I think maybe the smartest would maybe that may occur. But I have a good friend of mine who is an appraiser who is Knox County Assessor's Office. He's the appraiser there, and he was a residential guy, kind of like kind of what I do, and he was hired by Knox County. And the deal is he can still appraise, but he can't appraise in Knox County. He can't go and do individual appraisal work like Chris couldn't call him and have him do Knox County, but he could do Loudoun County or something. But so in smaller counties they might, but I'm going to say no. The more I think about it, because there's such a conflict of interest, and could be conflict of interest. So I think they do in-house. I think they do it in-house, but I could be 100% wrong on that. I'm not sure. Good question.
Okay.
So, thank you guys.